vector scramble in the descending zone.
Hello and welcome to today's flight. Today is January 9, 2020, and this is our continuing series on Instrument Proficiency Check preparation. Today's flight is going to take us from Tacoma Narrows Airport back to Tacoma Narrows Airport via the Narrows 1 departure procedure and the ILS Runway 17 approach, followed by a missed approach. We're going to do the published missed approach procedure, followed then by the published hold, which is at SCENN intersection, followed then by requests to reshoot the ILS Runway 17 approach. Conditions today happen to be IFR. The ceilings on X-plane are reported at 600 feet. What I'm seeing right now in ForeFlight is 400 feet. And I'm going to bring up ForeFlight. We'll do a really quick flight plan. So if you look right here at Tacoma Narrows, it's the 4 in that box. The magenta colored box indicates ceilings 400. The magenta color indicates low IFR. Regular IFR would be indicated in a red box. So low IFR here, and the conditions are pretty close in X-plane as I have real weather set. Let's go ahead and give a quick listen to ATIS to see if anything has changed.
Tacoma Narrows information Oscar.
Okay, it hasn't.
1700 Zulu weather. Wind calm.
I already listened to Oscar, and I have Oscar recorded. I'll bring this up here on ForeFlight, or on the scratch pad. That right there, Oscar. Winds are calm. 600 overcast, and we have the altimeter set 3016. Back to maps. Okay, really quick. We're going to put our flight plan in here. So I'm tapping my finger into the open box. Kilo Tango India Whiskey. And hit return. And we're returning to Kilo Tango India Whiskey. Hitting return. And we're going to click here where it says procedure. And then we're going to pick the only departure procedure for Tacoma Narrows, which is the Narrows 1. And we're going to add that to the route. And then we're going to click once again up here to procedure. And we're going to select approach. And the top one, which is the ILS 17 approach. And we're going to select vectors to final. Add that to the route. There it is. And when you select that, it automatically superimposes the procedure, the approach plate, on top of the map. Now we're going to change the map from aeronautical VFR sectional by clicking up here, and we're going to select IFR low, and then we're going to tap on the map, and we're going to tap up here to get rid of that, and there we are. All right, let's take a quick look at precipitation. So again, I'm going to click on the layers up here. I'm going to do radar composite, and there's definitely rain in the area. Some light rain and mist. I'm going to get rid of the composite layer because it can interfere with our ability to see what's going on here on ForeFlight. Okay. So just to review what we're going to do, we're going to do the Narrows 1 departure, which is going to be, we're taking off runway 17. It's going to be runway heading to 1,500 feet, climbing right turn on heading 250 to 2,000 feet, then to our cleared altitude, then request vectors, which means he's probably going to vector us up here parallel to the final approach course, and then over to intercept the localizer, and then he's going to clear us for the approach, and then hand us off to the CTAF frequency. We're going to make our traffic advisory notifications, position reports, and then we're going to do the missed approach procedure. So let's go ahead and bring that up. That's depicted right here. On the missed approach, which means you're descending to the decision altitude, which is depicted right here, 494 feet, and if unable to see the airport environment to make a landing, then you would execute the missed approach as published right here, which is to runway heading to 1,500, then a climbing right turn to heading 290 to 2,000, then to this intercept the CTAC R227 or the 227 radial, which I'll show you right here. It's going to be this radial right here. So we're going to intercept that radial, and we're going to fly the reciprocal heading, which is 047. And then we're going to intercept the SCENN intersection. They're going to ask what our intentions are, ATC, and we're going to request the hold as published, All right, so we're going to enter the hold like this. We're going to come to the SCENN intersection, left turn, and that's going to be to heading 347, which is the reciprocal heading of the final approach course. And then we're going to time that for 1 minute. We're going to make a left turn, 100, actually more than 180 degrees. We're going to make a left turn all the way to, let's see, 212 degrees. So we're going to do a teardrop. We're going to come around like this. 212 degrees will put us on a 45-degree intercept angle right here. I'm going to be flying this by the VOR. And then we're going to intercept the localizer, fly that to SCENN intersection, and once we reach SCENN intersection, again, 180 degrees turn to 347, time that for a minute, 180 degree turn to 167, time that, and then SCENN intersection. And then we're going to request to reshoot the approach. Then we're going to come around the hold like this, re-intercept the localizer, and fly the approach at that point. He would have handed us off to the CTAF frequency, and then we'll land and cancel IFR on the ground. So that's the plan. That should be a good workout and good preparation for the IPC. I'm going to be doing a bunch more IFR flight in the next several recordings. And it's a good opportunity for me to practice with ForeFlight and see how that interfaces with the published approach procedures that I'm shooting on any given day. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. And just to reiterate, this is the flight plan: Tacoma Narrows, Narrows 1 departure, vectors for ILS runway 17 approach, and then we're going to do the missed approach, published hold, and then we're going to shoot the ILS again. We're going to be using PilotEdge today, so all the communications via PilotEdge. Just to go up here and show you that plug-in, there's PilotEdge, and then here's the flight plan that I filed. Narrows 1, SCENN intersection. So KTIW to KTIW, 3,000 feet. So that's that. I'm going to turn on COM 1 here and listen for a little bit and then request our clearance. So right now we're tuned to the Seattle approach frequency, published right here. Seattle approach control 120.1 right there. 1201. 120.1. So again, I'm just listening to make sure that we're not going to step on any other radio traffic. Actually, yeah, COM 1's on. Not hearing anything. I'm going to get my scratch pad here. Right down the approach. Excuse me while I move here to grab my scratch pad, which fell on the floor. Seattle approach, Cherokee 7428 Romeo IFR to Kilo Tango India Whiskey, ready to copy.
Number 7428 Romeo, Seattle departure, clear the Tacoma Narrows Airport, Narrows 1 departure, radar vector is seen, then as filed, climb and maintain 3,000. Departure with Seattle approach 120.4, squawk 1401, hold for release.
Okay, clear to the Tacoma Narrows Airport via the Narrows 1 departure, then radar vector SCENN intersection, then as filed, climb and maintain 3,000, departure frequency 120.4, squawk 1401, hold for release, 28 Romeo.
Air 1024, Oakland Center, thank you. Number 28 Romeo, readback is correct, hold it for release, just call back on this frequency, I guess, when you're ready to go, first in line for departure.
Hold for release, then back on this frequency for release, 28 Romeo. Okay. All right, we're going to finish. I did most of the run-up already in the interest of saving some time, although this, I have to say, even though we're taking off and landing at the same airport, it's going to take a lot of time. Because, you know, we have to fly the published procedures. We're doing a missed approach and coming back in and doing a hold and all that sort of stuff. There should be a lot to be gleaned from this. It's very good training for me because it combines a lot of different knowledge and skills. We're flying no autopilot. We're flying a single VOR. I do have, as you can see right here, I do have all the procedures put into my GPS, so we'll be able to reference that. We're particularly going to have to reference this to identify the SCENN intersection, because we have one VOR, we're going to be tuned to this Seattle VOR right here, flying the 227 radial, but we need to know when we intersect the SCENN intersection. Here's the remaining items on our checklist. So in preparation for takeoff, we're going to turn our fuel pump on. Fuel pressure, recheck, fuel pressure is good. Radios and avionics set. So we're going to be asking for our release on 120.1. We have the CTAF frequency 118.5 in standby. We're going to set the transponder to Squawk Altitude. We're going to enter a Squawk code in of 1401. 1401. Whoops. Let's try this again. 1, 4, 0, and 1. And then we're going to squawk altitude, and we're showing altitude. Okay, 1401. That's a little quirky. But it is what it is. Okay, transponder set. iPad, we're going to verify our connection. Just to show you that, let's bring up ForeFlight again, and then we're clicking here on devices, and it should show X-plane. If we were in the real R-plane, it would show our Stratus ESG connected right here. Now we're clicking back up here to checklist, back to the checklist. We verified our connection. Map, so we're going to go to our map. We're going to go ahead and orient the map to the direction of the airplane, and so that is set. Lights as needed, so we're going to have our landing light on. Navigation lights are on, and we have our strobe and beacon on. Flaps set for takeoff. Flaps are set to neutral. Cabin door, latch tops and bottoms. Latch tops and bottoms. Window secure. Fuel selector timer, time note, and fuel verify fullest tank. Both tanks are equal, and we have a total of 5 hours of fuel on board. Okay, so I'm going to taxi into position and ask for our release. We're going to do a last review of our departure so that we have that cemented in our mind as we depart. Again, as I mentioned, we're not using autopilot, flying by hand. Okay. One 120.1 is set. We turn COM 1 on again and listen briefly.
Number 2 Julia Papa, squawk altitude, contact departure. Number 2H45 Kilo Seattle Center, Corvallis, altimeter 3026.
Seattle departure, Cherokee 7428 Romeo, ready for release.
Cherokee 7428 Romeo is released for departure. Clearance is void if not off by 1910 Zulu, time now 1902. If not off by 1910, call back with your attentions, no later than 1915. Frequency change approved.
Okay, void if not off by 1910 Zulu. Frequency change approved for 28 Romeo. Alright, over to CTAF. Tacoma area traffic, Cherokee 7428 Romeo taking off, runway 17 departure to the west, Tacoma traffic. Okay, now I want to get the departure frequency.
The 10 vowels and 1 to the bubble.
In standby. The less you have to do while trying to manage Your departure the better, 1204 is set. I'm taxiing out onto the runway. We'll do a last directional gyro check.
Ching runway 17. Entered runway 17. 4,900 feet remaining.
Alright. Okay, straight out, 1,500, then right turn 250, climb 3,000 because he cleared us to our filed altitude. And then he's going to ask us what our intentions are. I'm going to request the ILS runway 17, and he, at that point, should be giving us vectors. Okay, DG check. I'll recenter that. That's good. Alright. Remember, there's no hurry to contact departure after takeoff. Full throttle. Okay, engine instruments are in the green. Power's available for takeoff. And airspeed indicators live, looking for 75. There's 70, there's 75, and off the ground. Doma climb out is going to be 85 miles per hour on runway heading 170. Looking for 1,500, then right turn 250. Go ahead and set that heading bug to 250. Just as a reminder, that's set. Everything's looking good. Coming up on 1,000. $1,200. $1,300. There's 1,500. And right turn 250. Gonna make a standard rig turn looking down here. Wingtip on the mark. Hash mark. Continue our climb, 3,000. And rolling out on 250. Coming up on 2,000. There's 2,000 feet. Rolling out on heading 250. Yeah, I'm going to switch frequencies.
Approach United 1024 is at 16,000, descending via the star.
United 1024 NorCal approach, roger, San Francisco altimeter 3004, advise when you have the ATIS, expect vectors, ILS runway 28 left approach.
I would expect vectors ILS runway 28 left approach, and we'll advise when we have ATIS 1024.
Alright, coming up on 3,000, we're going to level out. And once we're leveled out, stabilize and do our comms check, we'll go ahead and contact departure. Trimming the airplane right now. Getting our power set. Alright, comms check, gas, undercarriage. So gas, we're going to have fuel pump off. Carb is off. Mixture. Going to lean. Prop switches, landing light off. Bringing altitude down 3,000, then we'll contact departure. Alright. Okay, everything's set. Set departure, Cherokee 7428 Romeo with you, level at 3,000.
Number 7428 Romeo, Seattle departure, radar contact 19 north of the Olympia VOR, the Olympia altimeter 3019, say request whatever.
Cherokee 7428 Romeo, request vectors for the ILS runway 17 approach.
Number 28 Romeo, roger.
Approach United 1024 has the ATIS information alpha at San Fran.
United 1024, roger, thanks for alpha.
Okay, we'll bring up ForeFlight, take a look at our flight path. There we are.
November 28 Romeo VFR traffic 10 o'clock, 3 miles maneuvering north and eastbound. Altitude indicates 3,500. Type unknown. Altitude unverified.
2 Romeo, Roger, Prime C at this point.
Cherry 7428 Romeo, that's no problem. Turn right, heading 350, maintain 3,000.
Right turn heading 350, maintain 3,000, 2 Romeo.
United 40, correction, is it SkyWest or United 4072? SkyWest 4072, Reno ground, thank you, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha.
Okay, there's 340, 350, 350, rolling out.
United 1024, contact NorCal approach 135.65.
135.65, 1024.
Okay, so here in VRR1.
Approach United 1024 is holding at 11,000.
I'm going
Yeah,
to switch that
1024
over to the
NorCal approach,
localizer
Roger,
frequency
San Francisco altimeter
109.1.
3004.
So localizer frequency is set.
3004, 1024.
Richie Julia Papa, turn right, heading 270.
270, what did you do?
Because right now, he's going to vector us in, and the first thing we're going to do is intercept the localizer, so we're tuned right here at 109.1. After that, we need to remind ourselves to switch over to the VOR frequency 116.8, which is the Seattle VOR, so that we can fly the published missed approach procedure.
That's 4072, Reno Tower, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
Which involves intercepting the 227 radial.
Okay, 1024, say heading.
So that's going to be super important that we make that changeover. So
Heading is 120, started to turn a little left there, so I just tried to correct that for you.
Okay, 1024, descend and maintain 7,000.
Down to 7,000, 1024.
Okay, so in standby we have again the CTAP frequency 118.5. That should be the next frequency that we switch to, which is the Common Traffic Advisory frequency at Tacoma Narrows. Normally it would be a tower frequency. It is a towered airport, but PilotEdge does not see it as a towered airport, so we're treating it as a non-towered. The other thing we have set here is our, we're going to set our final approach course of 167 degrees. Here, again, just as a reminder.
2 Juliet Papa, turn right, heading 310, join Victor 4, resume on navigation.
That's just as a reminder of our final approach course.
Please repeat that for 122 Papa.
I'm also
2
going to go
Juliet
ahead and
Papa,
set
turn right, heading 310, join Victor 4,
047
resume on navigation.
here.
Routing 310 to join Victor 4 and resume on navigation. 122 Papa.
047.
Okay, 1024,
The reason
stay
for that
heading.
is it'll help us stay ahead of the
Heading
airplane
is 122 for
as we
1024.
fly the missed approach
Is it the reason
procedure,
you're not
because
flying
that
the
is
Bodega to
reciprocal
arrival anymore?
heading for the 227 radial 047. That's the radial we're going to be flying inbound
I
to
was
SCENN
looking at the
intersection.
Bodega 3
So again, that's
arrival,
preset in here.
let's see, we went to Brick, and now we're waiting for that ILS 28 left.
Alright, but the procedure doesn't end at Bricks. Do you have the chart in front of you?
Yes, sir, we have a chart in front of us.
Alright, what does your chart say after Bricks, just to make sure you're looking at the same thing I'm seeing?
Okay, got you now. Then on track to 140, expect radar vectors, got you.
SkyWest 4072, contact NorCal departure.
So again,
NorCal Skywest
flying along here,
472
we're
is
going to
passing
review
through
the mist.
10,600, climbing via the Zephyr 6
Runway
departure.
heading 1500.
Scouts 4070 to
right
Yankee
turn
NorCal departure, radar contact.
to 2,000 feet on heading 290. Then we're going to intercept this radial.
United 1024, reduce speed 210 or less, turn left heading 010.
Reduce speed 210 or left, turn left heading 210.
Scouts 4072, contact Oakland Center 132.905.
Oakland Center 132.905, Skywest 4072.
The checklist in ForeFlight had a glitch in it, the one I've spent many months building for this airplane. I use it both for the simulator and real world flying.
Scouts 4072, Oakland Center, climb and maintain flight level 310.
The reason it took so much time to build is as I added equipment, where there were certain nuances that I wanted included in the checklist so I didn't miss them, I would continually edit, add, move things around. Built the emergency procedures checklist items in there over, again, a period of months, and then all of a sudden the other day when I went to open it, it gave me an error message and it got me real concerned. But I have to say that the ForeFlight technical support is outstanding.
Yeah, 1024 to center, maintain 5,000.
Yeah, it makes me
Down
feel
to
a lot better.
5,000, 1024.
I don't want to have to rebuild that checklist. Okay, you can see us on ForeFlight where we are, and here probably in another 10 or so minutes, maybe less, probably less. He'll put us on a right turn to intercept that localizer.
Yeah, 1024, stay heading.
And he'll probably have us descend to 2,000, which is...
Heading is 300.
at
I'm turning back
the SCENN
right.
intersection.
Just thought that you told me 210, but noticed that we were getting off course there, so just stopped that turn.
Yeah, 1024, I need you on heading 010.
Going to 010, 1024.
I think that's where the confusion is. You're right back. You had it heading to 010, so I think you mistook 010 for 210 when you had added the word 2 in there.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Thanks for the help, though.
Did this the other day on the simulator as practice, and the winds were 46 knots at 3,000.
Headed 1024 is 12 miles from Duyet. Turn left, heading 310.
That was no
Maintain
fun.
5,000 until established on the localizer. Clear the ILS, runway 28 left approach.
Turn left, heading 310. We're established on the localizer. Clear for
Tacoma
28
Narrows
left
information pocket.
approach. 1024.
1800 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility 2. Rain.
Check 28 Romeo, turn
Side
right, heading
conditions
080.
Right turn 080, 28 Romeo. Okay, standard right turn to the right, 080. And rolling out. On 080. Okay, we're looking for the localizer to come alive, 109. Whoops, we better switch that over here, don't we? Yeah, localizer is alive. It's a good thing I caught that. Coming left a little bit, 5 degrees off course there.
November 2 Juliet Alpha, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
See where we're at on ForeFlight.
26.64, 122 Golf.
They'll probably be giving us, he might be giving us another right turn to reduce the intercept angle, or he may just simply tell us to fly until we've intercept the localizer.
Cherokee 28 Romeo is 5.5 miles from SCENN, turn right heading 140. Descend and maintain 2,000 until established on the localizer, clear the ILS runway 17 approach.
Right turn 140, down to 2,000, cleared for the ILS runway 17 approach, 28 Romeo.
Skies 4072, contact Oakland Center 127.45.
Looking for 140. There it is. We're descending down to 2,000. And our final approach course is set on the heading bug there again, just as a reminder.
Number 122 Juliet Papa, Seattle Center, Roger, Yakima, altimeter 3009er.
Looking for the localizer here. There's 140. Rated descends 500 feet per minute. There's 2,700. Okay, pre-landing checklist. We're going to switch fuel tanks.
Skies 4072 Oakland Center, Roger.
Fuel pump on. Mixture is going to go for rich. And land
I'd
flat
say
on.
no changes, still the intermittent block. I've gotten used to it by now. I wouldn't say block, but broken, where it just chops out again. It's just that wireless headset for some reason. It seems like it hasn't changed.
Alright, coming up on 2,400. And looking for
Yeah,
that
that's very
localizer.
interesting.
2,300. Localizer's coming in.
I wonder if it's push to talk button related.
Alright, turning to our final approach course here, watching the altitude.
And approach, United 1024 has crossed the final approach fix.
United 1024, I've got you right over the
Coming up
final
on
approach fix
2000.
now, in contact San Francisco Tower 120.5.
Going to tower 120.5, United
There's
1024.
2,000. Gonna level off there, keep the power back, reduce our airspeed. Okay,
United 1024 San Francisco Tower, only 28 left. Clear to land, wind 350 at 12.
Level at 2,000, coming right a little bit, looking for that glide slope to come in.
Number 7428 Romeo, no traffic observed between you and the Narrows Airport at this time. Report cancellation of IFR missed approach while in the air on this frequency, or you can cancel on the ground within 5 minutes of landing on 122.2. Radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved for 28 Romeo. Alright, over to advisory. And glide slope's coming in. There's the outer marker beacon. And we're going to descend at about 500 feet per minute to hold that glide slope. Tacoma area traffic, Cherokee 742 Romeo is 5 miles on the ILS runway 17 approach Tacoma traffic. Coming left. And again, 494 feet is missed approach, decision altitude at the missed approach point. And we are inside the white arc, adding first notch of flaps. Coming left. So again, on the mist, we're runway heading 1500, right turn 290, 2000. And second notch flaps. And we want to maintain about 90 miles per hour on our final approach.
Mile
Our setting
final
looks
runway
good.
17.
Coming up to intercept that glide slope. Airspeed's looking good. Coming right. There's 800. Want to re-intercept
100.
that localizer. Glide slope's coming back in. Adding a little power. Looking good on localizer. Getting the glide slope is coming back in. A little bit more power, reduce sync rate. There's 700 feet. Power back, increase sync rate. Coming left. Again, I'm not looking at the runway, I'm looking at the VOR, or the localizer and glide slope. Procedures 200 AGL. Back on glide slope. Alright, full power. We'll mist. We're going to slowly retract the flaps. There's first notch. Airspeed's looking good. Climb is resumed. Second notch of flaps out. Runway heading 170 to 1,500. Switching back. Tacoma area traffic, Cherokee 742 Romeo, missed approach. And we'll be departing to the west. There's 1,100. Let me increase our rate of climb here. South departure, Cherokee 7428 Romeo, missed approach.
Number 7428 Romeo, execute the missed approach procedure as published. Ident when able.
Missed as published in ident 28 Romeo. Alright, so we're looking for 290. And we're going to switch over to VOR.
Number 7428 Romeo, radar contact 8 northwest of Tacoma, and say altitude.
28 Romeo is out of 1,800, climbing 2,000.
November 28 Romeo, roger, thanks. The narrows altimeter 3019er, say request when able.
3019 here for 28 Romeo, and 28 Romeo would like to do the published hold.
Cherokee 7428 Romeo, roger, hold at scene as published. And maintain 2,000, expect further clearance 1950 Zulu, time now 1927.
Hold as published for 28 Romeo. Alright, we're looking for that radial to come in. We'll bring up ForeFlight, see what we're looking like there. There it is. We're going to orient the map to our direction of flight. There's the radial you can see. We want to maintain 2,000. We're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to reduce power a little bit. And 290 on the heading. reason I moved the heading bug is that's going to be our outbound course once we intercept the localizer for the SCENN, the hold at SCENN. Come left a little bit, 5 degrees. Nice gentle inputs. Bring that back to 290. You can see how the published mist on the chart right here corresponds with what we're doing. We turned a little bit inside of what they're showing on the chart there, but we did what we were supposed to, which was the right turn at 1,500. All right, you can see the course deviation indicator coming in, which corresponds with what we're seeing on ForeFlight. And then we're going to make our right turn. Standard rate to 047 degrees. Maintaining 2,000. I'm going to overfly the 047 heading just to re-intercept that radial. So I'll probably hold it right here at about 055 and bring that needle back in. Again, maintaining 2,000. And I'm going to keep everything set for the pre-landing, which we set prior to our last approach, which is fuel pump on, landing light on, mixture set to full rich, fuel tank set to fullest tank, carb heat in, there's that needle coming back in, left turn to 047, and hold that. Okay, then I'm going to turn outbound. I'm going to time that for 1 minute on heading 347. I believe it is. Yeah, 347. Again, I'm flying by the VOR here, not ForeFlight. That's why it doesn't exactly necessarily correspond with what you're seeing on ForeFlight right now. Coming left a little bit, re-intercept that radial. And then we're going to switch over to the localizer frequency. 109.1. That needle's coming back in. The recenter.
Skies 4072, contact Los Angeles Center 133.2.
a stopwatch on my control wheel built in, so I'll be using that here in a minute. Okay, switching over to localizer, 1091, left turn, 347, and starting my stopwatch.
FedEx 3171 Heavy Albuquerque, clearance, clear to Denver Airport, Hemes 3 departure, then as filed. Climb via the SID, Squawk 6747.
So now we're going to do the opposite on the course deviation indicator for the localizer because we're outbound. So we want to fly a little bit left here, a little left of 347.
FedEx 3171 Heavy, read back correct.
See the outer marker coming in. We just overflew this SCENN intersection. So I'm going to hold about 335 degrees, try to get that localizer back in. That's a 10 degree left of course. Let's kind of bring that back in. I'm going to fly that outbound for about another 10 seconds. It's coming in. Okay, now we're going to standard rate turn to the left to heading 212 and re-intercept that localizer. And we'll bring up ForeFlight here in a minute, just to give you a look at what's going on. So looking for 212 degrees, which should put us on a 45 degree intercept course to recapture the localizer inbound. Bring up ForeFlight here.
Aero 2 Juliet Papa, contact Seattle approach 120.4.
Actually, we're going to need to come 45 degrees to the left of final approach course of 167, so I misspoke on the 212. 212 would not get us where we want to be. There's 167.
Seattle approach, this is Parker Arrow 122 Juliet Papa 120 Forbes.
November 122 Juliet Papa, Seattle approach, Boeing altimeter 3021, advise when you have the ATIS.
Okay.
Altimeter is 321 and got information X-ray.
Yeah, looking for that localizer to come back.
2 Juliet Papa, thank you for X-ray, expect the ILS runway 14 right approach.
Expecting 14 right, ILS approach 122.
Alright, intercepting the localizer. And we want 167. And we'll hear the outer marker when we're over SCENN. Coming up on 150. 167. And we're going to overshoot a little bit. There's the outer marker. So we're over SCENN. We're going to continue our right turn to heading 347, as you can see right there on the chart. So continue our standard rate turn to the right, and then we'll be established in the pattern, in the hold rather. Looking for 347, which is the heading book setting right there. Maintaining 2000. I want to do one more circuit in the hold, and then we'll request a ILS 17. starting the stopwatch, looking for 1 minute. And watch that altitude. You can be above 2,000. You want to get below it. Holding 347. That's 20 seconds. Seconds. And there's 1 minute. 180 degree right turn, 167, re-intercept the localizer. Looks like there is a little bit of wind effect going on, pushing us a little bit to the east to compensate for that on the next go around. So we want to re-intercept that localizer by overflying our final approach course. So now I'm on heading 180. Try to bring that localizer back in. We're timing our inbound. But we'll know when we hear the outer marker beacon.
Cessna 45 Kilo Medford, altimeter 3021.
Localizer's coming back in. One more circuit. Actually, when we start the circuit, I'm going to request to reshoot the ILS 17. Alright, let's come left a little bit now. Let's hold that. That should do it for us. 170. Let's check for precess here. Did precess a little bit. Then when we hear that outer marker, we'll make our right turn and then request. Here's the outer marker, right turn, standard rate to 347. Seattle approach, Cherokee 7428 Romeo, request ILS runway 17 approach.
Number 28 Romeo, roger. You looking for vectors to final? You want to fly the procedure turn outbound from SCENN?
We'd like to fly the procedure turn outbound, 28 Romeo.
Number 7428 Romeo, roger. At SCENN, cleared the ILS runway 17 approach at Narrows.
Cleared ILS runway 17 approach at SCENN, 28 Romeo. Alright, so we're going to fly the procedure turn outbound. So we want to re-intercept the localizer here. So we're going to continue our right turn to 45 degrees to the right of the 347 outbound. So we're going to continue our turn here and re-intercept that localizer. that right there. 030. Again, you can be above 2,000. You don't want to be below 2,000. And we're looking for that localizer to come back in. Then we're going to be 347 outbound and time it for 2 minutes. Looking for the localizer to come back in.
November 2 Juliet Papa fly heading at 310 vectors ILS runway 14 right approach, descend and maintain 6,000.
Heading 310 and down to 6,000, water to recover.
Localizer's coming in. Standard rate turn left. And then we're going to hold 347 outbound. There's 347. Starting our timer. Again, all of our corrections for the CDI are going to be the reciprocal. So CDI moves left, we move right. I'm going to turn right just a little bit. I'm going to bring the altitude down just a little bit. Although, like I said, you can be above 2,000. There's 30 seconds. All right, coming left, back to 347. 50 seconds. All right, back on the localizer outbound.
November 906, Niner Mike with El Paso, ground contact clearance, delivery 125.0 with your request.
All right, 30 seconds to go. And then left turn to 302 degrees. Then right turn, 122 degrees. 10 seconds. Left 302. Now standard rate turn to the left, watching our altitude. Looking for 302.
TBM 969er Mike El Paso clearance, good afternoon. El Paso departure frequency 119.15, squawk 2153.
302, timing out for 1 minute. And I'm not.
November 8 Niner Mike squawk 2153, 2153.
Not looking at ForeFlight and flying this by the
November
VOR.
Mike, read back is correct.
So our final approach course is set in here for reference 167. And there's 25 seconds on the outbound, 302 degrees. 30 seconds. Seconds. Then we're going to be right turn to 122. Here's 1 minute. Standard rate turn to the right, 122 degrees.
TBM 969er Mike El Paso ground runway 26 left taxi via Victor and Lima.
Looking for 122. And then we're going to watch the localizer, CDI, and glide slope. And localizer's alive. Continuing our turn to 122. Coming up on 120, and roll out. Watching the localizer. It's starting to come in. Gonna set this to our final approach course of 167. Alright, right turn. Looking for 167. Yeah, we're gonna roll out a little bit early. I'm gonna capture that. Localizer continuing to roll out slowly.
November 2 Julia Papa, descend to maintain 5,000.
Reduce power here.
Up to 5,000, 1 to Julia Papa.
Again, we're already set up for landing with the exception of flaps. Fuel pumps on. Fuel tank set properly. And come right just a little bit. Mixture set to full rich. We have carb heat off. Coming right. There's definitely a wind coming from the, I believe, southwest. That's pushing us a little bit off course. I'm going to hold 10 degrees to the right, of course. Reduce power here a little bit, 2,000. Bring that altitude back down. We want to intercept SCENN at 2,000. Come to the right. Again, I'm compensating for that wind. Getting pushed off localizer there, so hold to the right a little bit. Level off there. Oops. Had the heading bug set a little wrong. It's kind of... Now it's correct. That CDO's coming back in. Yeah, he should be pretty soon handing us off to advisory, and then we'll cancel on the ground.
November 2 Julia Papa, descend and maintain 4,000.
Up to 4,000, 2 Julia Papa.
Cherokee 28 Romeo, no traffic observed between you and the Narrows Airport at this time. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach while on this frequency. Or you cancel on the ground within 5 minutes of landing on 122.2. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, and cancel on 122.2, Cherokee 28 Romeo. Right, the glide slope's coming in. Tacoma area traffic, Turkey 742 at Romeo, 5 miles, inbound ILS runway 17 approach, Tacoma traffic. That localizer's coming in. I'm going to reduce power. Set our first notch of flaps, 10 degrees, set. Look for that localizer to come back in. We want our rate of descent about 500 feet per minute. There's the outer marker. I'm gonna leave ForeFlight off for now, just I don't want any distractions. Just want to fly the needles. Coming right. Rate of descent looks good, airspeed's good. And second notch of flaps. Come right. And I change that rate of descent a little bit. And a little bit of power. And come back left. As I said earlier, these definitely, the X-plane is very closely matching the real world conditions that we're seeing out here at Tacoma Narrows. And later on today I'm going out to the hangar to install a part. But I don't think I'm going to be flying today. And I come right a little bit. Rate of descent is good. Airspeed's good at 85. I'm going to come right. Getting pushed a little bit by the wind. So I'm going to hold a little bit right of course. And maintain that localizer. Here's 1,200. So right now I'm holding 180. Let's bring that course deviation indicator back
Mile
in.
final runway 17.
2 mile final. Tacoma area traffic, Cherokee 7428 Romeo's on a 2 mile short final for runway 17 Tacoma traffic. Coming left. Of course, the course deviation indicator becomes considerably more sensitive as you approach the station. I'm going to hold that right there. Reduce power to increase the sync rate. Reduce power a little more. Put up on 900. Sync rate looks good. Just going to hold that right there. Reduce power a little bit, increase the sync rate, just to catch that glide slope.
Hundred.
500 feet. AGO. Coming right. And there's the runway. Okay, we're going to put our final notch of flaps in. Looking good on glide slope, airspeed's looking good. And landing's assured. Powered idle. Clouds retract. And we'll turn this taxiway. Tacoma area traffic, Cherokee 7428 Romeo is clear of the runway, Tacoma traffic. Few pump landing light off. We'll park over here. Next to that King Air. Take a look at ForeFlight, debrief, talk about what went well, what could be done better next time. All right, and shut it down. So we're going to avionics off, all lights off. Rotating beacon, nav lights, and strobe master switch off, idle cutoff, and mags off, brake set. Okay, let's bring up ForeFlight. I'll bring this to the center here. Okay. There we go. All right, now let's shrink it so we can see the whole flight path. Okay, so this is our departure on the initial departure. And so we climbed on runway heading to 1,500. Again, that's the published departure procedure. Then climbing right turn. In this case, we were cleared to our filed altitude of 3,000 on heading 250. The controller asked us what our intentions were. We requested vectors for the ILS runway 17 approach. Those vectors were given in the form of a right turn to 350, maintaining 3,000 feet. So now we're parallel to our final approach course. And then we received another vector, I think it was heading 080 if I remember right, and then another heading, don't remember that one, to reduce the intercept angle to make it easier for us. We flew that and intercepted the localizer and flew it down to our decision altitude of 494 feet, or close to that. It might have been about 500 feet. And then we flew the missed approach procedure. So let's go ahead and look at that. We got to switch this plate. All right, so let's put this one up. Missed approach procedures right here. Runway heading straight out 1,500, then right turn on heading 290, climb to 2,000, intercept the SeaTac 227 radial, which is the 047 inbound, to the SCENN intersection. So let's take a look at that phase. So here is our, this is our missed approach. We climbed to 1,500, then climbing right turn on heading 290 to 2,000, maintain 2,000. We intercepted the 227 radial here. Again, we're flying the instrument, not ForeFlight. So it had us a little bit right of what they're showing here. You can't really go by this. You have to go by your instrument. We flew that to the SCENN intersection. And then the published hold is right here. The hold is on this side of the localizer. So that's going to be to the west of the localizer. All right, so we flew to the SCENN intersection, then outbound, and we timed it for 1 minute. and we did our outbound on heading 347, right here, the reciprocal of the inbound course. After 1 minute, we made a left turn at a standard rate to a heading of to a heading of 45 degrees to the left of our final approach, to the left of this 167 radial, so that we intercepted the localizer here, which we did. And then we were established in the hold. So we flew that to the SCENN intersection, then standard rate turn to the right. That's right here. Timed it for 1 minute, then standard rate turn to the right. Again, to the final approach course of 167. We shot through the localizer right here, came back, re-intercepted, then we were established again in the hold. We requested clearance for ILS. He asked us if we wanted the full procedure or vectors. We requested the full procedures, which begins at the SCENN intersection. So we did our right turn, re-intercepted the localizer, and then flew the procedure turn outbound, which calls for, it would be 2 minutes from the SCENN intersection, outbound on heading 347, then left turn to 302, time for 1 minute, then standard rate turn to the right. And then we started the clock, but the bottom line is we're looking at that point for the localizer. We re-intercepted the localizer, probably overshot it just a little bit, then came back in on the localizer and maintained glide slope beginning at SCENN intersection down to the runway. I think we broke out of the clouds about 600 feet or thereabouts and landed. A couple of times, I think our altitude, we got below it again a couple of times, I noticed, and then I made a correction for that. As you can see, there's a lot going on here, and you're trying to narrate and trying to talk to air traffic control and focus on the published procedures and that sort of thing. But the bottom line is I need to do better next time on managing my altitude as I fly this procedure. So that is a lot of stuff. It's flying an ILS approach, then flying the mist, then flying to a hold, holding in the holding pattern using a single VOR, and then flying the full procedure turn outbound and back in. So a lot of stuff going on there. This is the textual version of the mist approach. It's really the same thing as the quick reference version that we talked about down below. So that's it for today. Pretty good workout. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time.